I'm going to be showing you how to use Softr. We're going to be going through the use cases, the pricing, and then I'm going to show you a step-by-step how to get started within 5 minutes. Use cases for Softr. What I would want you to focus on before you even get in and start signing up, there are so many different things you can be doing with Softr. I would write down on a piece of paper, what are you trying to accomplish? Are you trying to create a client portal, internal tools, marketplaces, online communities? Pick what you're trying to do first. The reason I would do this is then you can use a template to get started even faster. If you go to the top of the screen, you can click use cases and find the exact use case that you might be trying to create. For example, a client portal, you can come here and there's a whole page that shows you the details of that client portal that you can have in Softr. One of my favorites is marketplaces. Instead of creating a marketplace using ShareTribe or getting someone to create it with custom code, this allows you to create a MVP, a minimal viable product. In this case, it's a marketplace to test, do you have the right fit for your industry? Do you have the right supply and demand using a marketplace? This allows you to have a really nice looking marketplace, a rental marketplace, a service marketplace, whatever you're trying to have to get started to test. For example, I get a lot of questions about trying to create an Airbnb app. Instead of taking the time to code an entire app or to build a robust app in Bubble or something like that, you can just create this rental marketplace with Softr within minutes. Let's talk about pricing. To get started with Softr, you can actually start for free, but there are some limitations, right? So you only can have one collaborator. You can have one custom domain. Now, this is actually pretty interesting. Unlike a lot of free plans on other platforms where you have to start paying to get a custom domain, you can still have one custom domain and to get started right now with Softr. You can have the membership test mode. What I like about this right here is if you're not sure about if your membership is going to sell, you can start trying it out. You can start testing it out, almost having, I would say, a pre-sale to see, do you have any traction to get started? I really like that option. And then if you do have paying clients, if you have paying members, then you can start scaling up to when you get into the professional plan or things like that. Now, again, for the membership, there's a test mode for the free and starter. For the professional, starting at $65 a month, then you can have memberships up to 10,000 members. Let's take a look at the amount of information or rows of data we can have. For the free plan, it starts with Airtable integration and 200 records. Again, depending on what kind of information you're saving, we can go up to 200 records. For the starter, starting at $24 a month, that's where you're going to be able to have up to 1,000 records. If I'm looking at the main differences between the different pricing structures, I would say free allows you to test an idea and to see if this is going to be something that you want to run with. But again, you still have all of the unlimited applications, so I can be testing all of these different ideas, these MVPs, to see which one has traction. If anyone would like to pay for my idea, then I can go into the paid tiers. Keep in mind, I would actually really focus on validating instead of worrying about pricing right here. If you're saying, well, if I scale up, I might have to be paying $165 a month if I want the business, I'm looking at Softr as an excellent opportunity for me to build fast, to see what people want. And if I have the traction, if I have my audience, now we're just going to reverse engineer how much I have to charge in order for this to be viable. Having these prices, they're very affordable if you have a paying audience, and I wouldn't progress from the free plan unless I started getting traction and I started getting returns on my ideas. In the starter program, then I can take away this Softr branding if I want to. I can also have more rows of data, so I'm getting more people that I can start having in my membership, my marketplace, anything like that. And if I'm looking at 1,000 records, depending on what I'm doing, either memberships, I'm doing a marketplace, then I would be looking, I could even do a freemium model where I'm having more people signing up to get started. Then I can upsell via, in email list or upsell in whatever I'm offering in a marketplace or membership. And then I can go into the professional or business plan as well. let's look at some highlights in the professional plan that I really like what they've added. Number one, the update Airtable records. This allows you, again, to have that syncing ability. Instead of worrying about, well, is this updated? Have I done everything? I had to go into my Airtable base. It allows you to sync and have everything for your own records. I can also have user roles. If I'm trying to have an expansion in my membership, now I can have editors, admins, I can have different tiers. And I can look at the custom code. If I need to add JavaScript, CSS, HTML, now I have that ability in the professional plan. One other thing I would like to highlight in the professional plan, where it says transfer applications, this allows me to start building my business if I'm an agency and I'm starting to build out some of these websites or these web apps or whatever I want to do with Softr. If I'm trying to target a certain demographic where they want to have their own internal tools, they want to have their own marketplaces, I can first show them mine, show the traction that I've had, and then if I'm going to be building out their application, I can build it in my account and then transfer it to their Softr account later on. I really see the benefit of this as a studio or an agency taking advantage of this. Instead of trying to do this half with WordPress and then having this be a component where you're embedding it, you could really be building out a very lean agency or studio using the power of Softr. Shifting over to the business plan, the thing that jumps out at me is twofold. Number one, the single sign-in, and also the field level permission per each role. That allows me to have a little bit more sophistication if I needed to, and that's just something to keep in mind. And then also single sign-on, and then also single sign-on. That could be a big driver. That could be something that I could be offering for my clients or different ones I work with as a bonus where I'm going to upsell them having that feature. Now that we've looked at the use cases and the pricing, it's time to get started. We need to sign into two different platforms. Number one, we're going to be using Softr.io and Airtable.com. You can start for free with both of these platforms. First, I'm going to start by saying sign up for free. After signing up, you're going to be taken to this screen. On the left-hand side of the screen, you're going to be seeing all the applications, all mine and shared with me. You're going to have the learning documentation so you can learn about Softr and Airtable. And then you're going to see what's new, the roadmap, and also support Slack and reaching out on Twitter. After I get to this screen with Softr, what I'm going to do is go to Airtable, and I'm either going to sign up or sign in to my Airtable account to get started. Now that I have both accounts open, I have Airtable and Softr, I'm going to be going to the template section of Softr. I'm going to say new application. Now, the reason I'm starting here, again, like at the beginning of the video, to get started even quicker, I work from templates first, and I can first get a basis of what the site or the web app will look like, and then I can start editing from there. I'm going to choose online communities. I'm going to click online communities, and here I get a couple different options. I can scroll over and preview which one I want. I'm going to preview, opens up, and now I can see of what it would look like for my Softr site. I like this. I'm going to start with this. Then I can make some changes. I'm going to click select. And now it prompts me to go into my Airtable account and find my Airtable API key. That is found in my account overview section, and I can bring it over here and then go from there. I go over to Airtable, and from here, I'm going to click my profile pic. I'm going to say account, click that. Then I'm going to find my API key. Now remember, make sure that you're keeping this secret. Do not share this with anyone. And you're going to highlight it, and then you're going to put it in right here. Then it says connect Airtable base. You can use the templates base or use your own. I use the template base, the copy of it, just to make sure that it's set up the way that I like. And after I saw it in preview, I just feel more comfortable. So I'm going to say use the templates base. I'm going to click next, and then it's going to prompt me to copy the template base. I click that. It opens up the template base that already has all the information in the template, in the template version right here, right? So now I see this, and then in the right-hand corner, it will say copy base. I'm going to click that. And now it's asking where to put that copy in my Airtable account. I'm going to put it in my workspace. I'm going to say add. And now right here, it now shows up and it says new. So I can look at the name of it and I can go back now. I go back to Softer. I'm going to refresh. And I'm going to look for, I found it right here. And then I need to find the Airtable base and then the Airtable table. And the table right here. I'm going to say finish. And just like that, within a few minutes, I have an online community all set up for me. Now that I have the basics, I've already copied everything, I have the records, and I have everything in place. How do I edit it? This is very similar to any website editor. If you're familiar with Elementor, with WordPress, Squarespace, any of those things, you're going to be getting different basic elements, and then you can edit from there. So with Softer on the left-hand side, we have the pages, so we can be editing that. We have blocks where we can be adding to the page. We can have the header, hero section, features, gallery, all the normal things you see in a website builder. And then we have more advanced features where we can actually have data where we're connecting information to Airtable, depending if what we're going to be doing, adding users, things like that. And then we also have general settings where we can break down the name of the page. We have default styles and colors. We have an option for a custom domain, and we can add integrations right here as well. Not just Airtable, we can be adding Google Analytics, Google Tag Manager, Hotjar, Stripe, Checkout, and the list goes on and on. We have all of that right here in the settings section. And then again, depending on what we have, what program or where we start with the pricing tier, we have an option for custom code as well. To get started to editing the page, what I do is start from the top and then go down. I would click first the header. And after you click the header, then you get all of the options of what you want to do with that header. You can change out the logo, you can change the links, all of those things right here. If I want to add a section, I just click the add block section, and now I can add any section I want. A feature, featured grid, whatever. And then right here, it allows me to just add to page just by clicking the plus sign. Let me just do that right here. And as you can see, I now have it right here. I can use the arrow to move it up and down throughout the position of the website, or I can simply just delete it. I can delete that section if I want to. I can also hide that image or hide that section if I want as well. Maybe I want to use it later on, but I just want to hide it. The thing to remember when you're using this builder is think about it as a structure of a website, and that allows you to think about the progression of what you're going to be doing to have this experience, either if you're creating just a website or a web app experience. Keep in mind when you use this, this also allows you to optimize for mobile or whatever device as well. So when you're creating these experiences just in this view, it will automatically optimize what it will look like if you're using mobile or anything like that. So make sure you take a look at what it looks like. If you need to change things, it instantly allows you to see how it would look on different devices. In the comment section down below, let me know what kind of template you plan on using or what kind of project that you want to use Softer or Airtable with. We're going to be creating more and more videos and tutorials, so I want to know what you're working on and what your requests are so we make the best videos for you. I'll see you in the next video.